What's good, YouTube? It's Rage Rail. So today's video is going to be kind of special. I'm going to be talking about how to actually lab, and I'm also going to go over this pistol trips scheme with you. So if you enjoy this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So if you are on current gen, please know I already put a video out on this on current gen, and also I do both next gen and current gen. I know I've been doing a lot of next gen lately, but I try to balance it out, and so I'll be pumping out a lot more current gen too. So just stay with me if you're on current gen. But anyways, in today's video, it doesn't matter if you're current or next when I talk about as far as how to lab, but it does matter if you want this actual scheme, if you want to use it. Okay. So first and foremost, the first thing you need to think about when you lab is you actually want to think about what team you're going to use for what playbooks, well, formation I should say. So basically I decided I wanted to do pistol trips because I didn't do it on next gen yet, and so I wanted to think about what team I wanted to play with. So I knew I wanted to play with the Jets, so I chose the Jets. I chose the running gun playbook because this is found in the running gun offensive playbook, right? So next thing you want to do is when you choose your team you want to lab against, you want to choose a team that has a really great defense. Okay, that's why I always go with the Packers. They have one of the best defenses in the game. But there's other teams who have top rated defenses as well. So whichever ones you want in that category. Now, the next thing you need to know is you need to use a playbook for defense that is extremely meta. And if you don't know, multiple defense is an extremely meta playbook. As far as defense, that's why I always choose that one. Now, the next thing you need to know is what formations are meta on defense. And those formations, it depends on your offense. Normally, people love $3-2-6. That's why I love the lab against it. And they also love any 4-down lineman front defenses. So that's why I do dime normal when I lab, because you need to understand that there's a 3-down defense and there's a 4-down defense as well. So 3-down lineman, 4-down lineman. So those are extremely important. Okay. Now, next step is you want to make sure you get your personnel set up for defense. You have to picture yourself playing online. So what that means is nobody's going to have a middle linebacker who's not athletic right here, right? So that's why I put a safety in, and then you want to pay attention to how we have safeties and speed all around. So just, you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best look whenever you lab, okay? And the other next thing that's important is get another controller. You should have 2 controllers. That way you can control what's happening. You can control what coverage you call. You can control whether, you want to add zone drops or not. You can control all that. So get you another controller. And also, this is a pistol trips mini scheme, but also I wanted to really touch on the labbing process. Now, I do have a 10-minute gameplay clip, and I'm going to actually kind of talk to you through my decision making and how I actually do everything. So what I did was I came on here and I knew I wanted to do pistol trips, so I loaded up. I did exactly what I just told you. So now next thing you want to think about when you're on offense is personnel. But first, before that, you want to just kind of look at the formation, see what plays look good. So inside smash looks cool. PA control, PA counter waggle looks cool. Notice the run plays. Notice how they have a lot of different run plays. That's why I really like this formation. They have a deep post with inside cross. So they have the things we're looking for. They have a corner out. They have, a flood concept. They have a deep, skinny post with this PA halfback flat. So those are the things you want to look for in formation that you believe might be good, okay? Now, I'm going to use just one play for an example play. Then we're going to dive right into gameplay because I want you to understand something. So the play we're going to look at is inside smash because it's a play you typically don't see. But we're going to do is we're going to look at it towards... we'll throw in a match coverage because it's also too important to remember to lab against match coverage. So we'll put in something like cover 4, we'll do quarters, why not? We'll do cover 4 quarters, and we'll come out and cover 3. Now, the most important thing that you have to remember is you have to picture yourself playing this online. So you have to envision where the user is. All these things matter. So I want to give you this setup. So this is how I actually started off. So I started off playing around with setups against a computer, seeing what the CPU did versus certain route concepts, and then I took that and went straight online. I didn't, get a practice game, no warm-up game. You're gonna be able to tell real quick why I say I didn't get any practice. So and you're gonna see that game. I didn't hide anything. Everything's on that game because this is the process I use before I give out a video to you guys. I just don't show the gameplay just because you don't technically need to see it. I'd rather you go out and do it yourself. But anyways, this setup that I like is universal, except for cover 3. It doesn't work as well, but everything else is universal. Again, if you want to take triangle, put them on a streak. square on the slant, X on the in route, and then you want to motion over this guy. Now I'm gonna spy these two people because you need a little bit of time in the pocket. But again, it works great versus everything other than cover 3. So square is gonna get open, but the reason why I said that is because circles, route, it can get open, but notice how the free safety, who's that deep middle, is actually going to end up locking onto it. So I love this versus everything other than cover 3 is what I found. But this read is going to be open for you a lot. The next read is going to be open is the slant. It gets open. I mean, it's a typical slant, but it's good because a lot of times the user is going to chase this bottom route, or he's going to sit in the middle, and then you just make a read between these two. So I want to show you versus match coverage. That's why I picked match coverage, because I love this setup versus match. So here we are, cover 4 quarters. Now I'm just going to spy these two, and again, right after this, we're going to cut straight to gameplay because I didn't want this video being too long. But I just need you to understand something. So pay attention to this play right here. So versus match coverage, circle. I want you to pay attention to circle. First, notice how that safety is going to kind of react to it, and then he actually does not. So keep that in mind, okay? And this is why I say this, because it's a learning curve for me too. So I'll mention it when it gets there, but essentially what happens here, I love this setup because you can have this throw if you want to, and a lot of times the user will end up chasing this, and then they'll try to peel back and cover this. But you're going to need time, because if you throw this ball right now, you'll throw a pick because they won't let you pass lead it. So if you throw this ball right about here, they won't let you throw it here because this guy would jump it. But you kind of have to wait because he'll act like he'll cover it, then he'll stop, and then you can have this throw. And that's why I like the streak right here, because it's going to grab both of their attention, and we're just going to have either this dot or we're going to have this dot right here. So it all depends on where the user goes. But just wanted you to see something real quick. So I do these setups, I run all these plays, I call different coverages, and I set everything up, and then when I have the setups that I like, then I go ahead and transition into the gameplay, which I'm about to do right now. So let's go in and hop right into that gameplay. All right, so here we go right here. So we're gonna go ahead and start off the game, and you want to make sure that you get your personnel aligned. So I personally love to set up my audibles, and then I love to run the ball, just that way I can actually not have to blow get 5-yard penalty. And look at that right there. So this is why I like to start off the run, and this is just straight next gen Madden. I would just call it BS because that just don't happen on current gen. So anyways, I think he does throw a pick to us. That's how we got the ball back. And like I said, remember this setup right here. So it's a tad bit, actually it's a whole different play, my bad. This is a whole different play. But with this play, it's either triangle or square, and you could tell we just ran out of time. And also, I want you guys to understand something. So kind of watch these setups while I'm talking to you guys. But me personally, I don't consider myself to just be this Madden great player. I'm really better as a coach than I am an actual Madden player. As right there, we are going to just throw the pick. And like I said, that's just from, not understanding who I have at quarterback. There's just some things Zach Wilson can't do, and he can't lead that pass, and I can't expect him to with Jair Alexander covering him. So anyways, like I said, there's just things on here that, I want you guys to understand that in no way, shape, or form do I ever try to just say I'm just this great Madden player who just, dominates everybody I faces. I know that I understand how this game works. I understand what route combos work versus coverages, and I understand how to buy time to make the reads. As right there, you can kind of tell I'm getting settled in, trying to at least, so 2 poor decisions right there. Should have been a pick on him, but I believe he just didn't time it up right. But I say all that to say that I just don't want you guys to think that I just think that I'm just, extremely, good and could just beat everybody. That's why I'm not a pro player by any means. I just understand how this game works. And I know that these route concepts and these route combos that I give you, they work. So for example, right here, I would tell you to read circle or X, and notice how X is going to win his man because in routes beat man coverage. So that's how I play. I like to, play as far as telling you guys what works and what doesn't work, and this is how I find out what works and what doesn't work. So when I tell you guys on these scheme videos, hey, you might not want to throw this because the user will do this, or hey, the CPU will do this if you wait too long, or if you throw it too quick. That's how I know these things, is from making those mistakes. And that's why I say that I'm just not the best player for say, just because I make a ton of mistakes when I play offense. But when I'm on my game, I'm on my game, if that makes sense. Like when I start to get a rhythm, I get that rhythm, and then I'm good. So normally defense has always been my strong suit when I play Madden, but offense, that's why my reads aren't so crisp, but the route concepts are always nice. You're always going to have either this guy open or that guy open. The user can't cover both. And we identify coverages, and we run concepts based on those coverages. That's just what I do. That's what I do. That's why I like giving you guys a scheme. So this is the setup I was just telling you guys about. So right here, notice how squares is going to get all the way open, just nobody there. And this user in particular is really aggressive on those shallow routes. So which means that all those intermediate routes are just going to be that more wide open. And I really love this offense because of the variation of the run plays. So right here, this is curl flats. This is found in other trips formations like trips tight end. A couple of them have them, but I did end up changing my mind to go ahead and no, that's not what happened. I was doing audibles and I was doing them too fast, and then they were actually making me reset the play because I was pressing it a little too fast, which can happen from time to time. But this setup right is really basic. I love actually reading underneath because the running back is a delayed little curl route, and that delay curl route is actually really clutch because the user isn't going to want to be patient on that curl route a lot of times because we're just flooding them. So right there, I actually could have kept it with Zach Wilson. I actually chose to just give it to Breece Hall just because I wanted, I trusted him more than my quarterback, and I didn't have it on conservative, and I paid for it dearly, which is, like I said, in theory, I should have just took my 3 if this was some type of important game, but this is more so a labbing game. And I want you guys to understand something. I actually had no intentions of giving this, I had no intentions of recording this and doing a video off of it. I just decided to, because I was able to clip the gameplay. I decided just to, why not just clip it and show you guys the process that I use. So one of the things that's also hard about, the thing that I do with YouTube as far as giving schemes out, I don't have an offense. So what that means is that the process that I just showed you in practice mode, that's the process I use when I pick a new formation. And then I just go straight into a game once I feel a little comfortable with the setups and how they'll work versus what coverages. I'll go straight to game. Then I try out everything versus, the online CPU. And I see what works, see what doesn't. Because sadly, there are some things in practice mode that just only work in practice mode or only do certain things in practice mode. So I just don't like showing you guys gameplay all the time because it's a little taxing on me to try to show it. I want you guys to watch this. So notice I had him in off coverage. This happens so much and it's so frustrating. I had him in off coverage. That's Sauce Gardner. I can understand if it was DJ Reed or something, but literally Sauce Gardner. And I didn't even have him press. He was playing in a quarter, I believe. But I wanted y'all to see, because that's normally how my touchdowns are given up a lot of times. It's not something like I just get dinked and dunked down the field, which does happen from time to time. But most of the time I get scored on. It's really just those type of lob passes, and they just, it's just a really good type of throw. Now right here, I wanted to put Square on a streak and just let it run so bad, but I decided just to wait. And right there, I want you to look at Square. I was looking at Square. I knew I was going to have it because that play can bomb cover 3. But you could take triangle, put him on a streak, and it'll hold that safety there. But that's why I went ahead and put him on a streak now. And I'm going to motion his backside slant because I want to isolate that third on the other side. So you could really hit R1 too, and you can tell that is where I go because, again, those running back delayed little curl routes are so money out of this particular formation. And again, here comes that setup that I was telling you guys about. So I want you guys to pay attention to something. So in practice mode, we looked at cover 4 quarters. He actually is in cover 4 quarters. The reads are exactly what we want. But this is how I found out you can't throw that ball earlier, was just from that. So a lot of times people make mistakes and they're kind of mad. I used to get really mad at and upset at mistakes, but I've eventually learned, and look at that, he would have had him again. Like, that's crazy. Well, that's why I put that in there. But I learned from mistakes, you need to make those mistakes to understand, what went wrong. And last thing I want to say about mistakes is be sure that you do capture your gameplays on most importantly, the games you lose. You want to capture that gameplay. See why you lost, and then also relook at the video and see, what setup caused the defense to do what, what coverage was he in, so start to understand the whys. And anytime you understand the whys, you're just going to take that and you're going to build and build and build, and also keep in mind, the reason why it's hard for me to play Madden now is because I'm so scheme oriented. So like I don't switch formations because I can't switch formations because I'm trying to show you a scheme. And right there, I had circle wide open. But the thing about the Packers that makes it so tough is when somebody plays with the Packers the right way, it's actually extremely frustrating because how you're supposed to play with the Packers, they have really great man DBs and they have a really solid, defensive line. So you're really supposed to play how this guy is playing, where you rush forward, play man coverage. That's just how you. Now, if I was him, I would just put a safety in at linebacker instead of having, just the actual linebackers. because they're just not going to be able to get the job done. So right there, I was trying to get that play earlier, but I couldn't, get it. But you could tell, man, this offense is really dangerous. And I use the Jets for a reason. So I don't really play with good teams on here. I know I'm not trying to sound like I'm the best or something like that. No, it's no means at all. It's just that a lot of times you guys can discredit me if for some reason I'm playing with like the Chiefs or, the Bucks or something, or, some team like that. You guys might just think, oh, well, it's just because of the team. Because on Madden 23 current next gen, what I noticed, and I meant to say next gen, so what I noticed on Madden 23 next gen is that it actually does matter, what team you pick. It really does. Like, matchups really matter on here, so it makes it that much tougher. And I do it so I can show you guys that the scheme is what makes the difference, not the team. It's the scheme. So that's why a lot of my gameplays you see me play with kind of, mediocre teams that just aren't that good, but they're okay, Like, for example, I won't be able to use the Jets a lot next year because they're going to be one of the best teams on there. The way it's looking, unless they just have a crap season and then, Madden's not going to let them be a good team. But anyways, in theory, they should be. But right here, if it's 2nd and 17, what I would suggest you to do is run the ball, put yourself in a better third and manageable. But this is called ignorance, but at the same time, I knew the user was never going to cover it. I just needed time to throw circle because circle is constantly winning. It's a man-beaten route, and whoever that is just cannot guard him. I just could not get enough time. So right here, 3rd and 17, don't look for the chunk play no matter what. You want to go ahead and try to look for the check downs because your opponent's going to cover all the deeper routes. So that check down is pretty much always going to be open, and that stands true right here. Look at R1, but we just get the worst animation. I mean, that's the difference between having somebody like Aaron Rodgers, or, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Those are the differences. So right here, I actually did not get enough time to actually put my, I like to put a normal third out there. So I like to play cover 3 and then match to the tight end side when I face trio offset just for that play. And I'll probably break down that play, but it can one play touchdown match coverage, and I'll show you guys that. But I didn't have enough time to adjust it, so gave up the touchdown. So right here, I'm really just don't want to fold this game, and if I'd have had a little bit more time, that throw would have been even more wide open. It's just that he was cooking them every single time, and that deep half safety is not going to be able to play that route correctly, which is why I really like this formation. It's really a good formation. So at this point, I'm really just trying to run the ball, kill the clock, because I just, at this point, I knew I was going to just show you guys this. So I just didn't want it to end on a loss because, there's no reason you should lose, in the scenario that I was in. So I decided just to play it smart, just run the ball, chew clock, and then just go ahead and score. And then force him just to have to throw he's going to have to just beat me and, down the field. And, I just didn't believe he could. So right here, he's just going to try to just chunk the ball up, and we are going to get the pick, and that's going to end the game. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, though. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. Please drop a like if you enjoyed it. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.